Call of Duty is having its 20th anniversary this year, and any game series running that long will have its fair share of controversies. I've decided to pick 10 of the most controversial moments in its history. This could be a piece of gameplay, a marketing stunt, or even just a change in direction. So subscribe, turn on those notifications, and comment ding ding when you've done it for a shout out in my next video, just like Callamanslow and Maxi073 here. So without further ado, and in no particular order, here are the 10 most controversial moments in Call of Duty history. Number 10. Killing Castro, Black Ops 1. We start this off with a controversy so big that it heightened tensions between Cuba and the United States. In the opening level of Black Ops 1, you're tasked with assassinating the Cuban dictator Fidel Castro, which is something the US in real life has allegedly tried to do on multiple occasions. This time, however, they're successful, as Alex Mason puts a bullet between his eyes. Or so you think. As it turns out, it was a body double that you killed, and Castro lives on to fight another day. Sure, how else was he supposed to fight against hordes of zombies in the Pentagon? Unsurprisingly, the whole level didn't go down well in Cuba, but they were fine with him teaming up with Nixon and JFK to unlock the Pack-a-Punch room. In a response to Black Ops 1, the Cuban government went with the age-old line of "video games are bad for you" by saying it stimulates sociopathic attitudes in North American children and adolescents. Aw, give it a rest. That kind of statement makes you want to replay the level 100 times over, and I don't think there's any Cubans watching, so I think I'm safe to say that. Number 9. The Nuke, COD 4. For those of you that never experienced this moment for the first time in 2007, this may seem like it's not controversial at all. After all, every other Modern Warfare 2 lobby would be nuked to oblivion by a sweaty 12-year-old. Nowadays, we're pretty much desensitized to the mighty nuke, but back in the COD 4 days, this was a shocking moment that still gives me shivers. The moment in question comes in the shock and awe mission, which doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. You're going around helping your allies out in the city, and are eventually tasked with evacuating that city after a nuclear device was discovered. One of the helicopters gets shot down, and your squad mates make the decision to rescue them. It seems like all is going to work out, until you're flying away, and out of nowhere you hear a boom and see the mushroom cloud. Not only do we see the detonation of a nuke, we also have to play a sequence where we control Private Jackson as he takes his last breaths, all the while looking around at the devastation that surrounds him. The silence here is deafening. It was crazy enough to kill off a playable character, but to do it like this was insane. This might hit a little harder in today's world with the threat of total nuclear annihilation seemingly on everyone's mind. This level will either heighten your anxiety, or if you're a Fallout fan, it will get you even more excited. Number 8. EXO Suits, Advanced Warfare. Not everything on this list is going to be dealing with heavy subjects like nuclear war and geopolitics, but this one may be one of the most controversial talking points between the COD community. In 2014, Advanced Warfare was released, and with that brought the start of the EXO Suit generation of COD games. Now you can glide and slide your way across the map and take out enemies from any angle. Some people thought it was a good addition to the series that sent it in a new direction, while others absolutely despised it and thought it ruined the series. I personally was somewhere in between, like an only child who can't take a side in their parents' divorce. Still to this day, I don't know how I feel about the EXO Suits. Part of me likes the new dimension it brought to the gameplay, while the other part of me would rather be married to Jada Pinkett Smith. People who love the EXO Suit games would say that they take more skill to play, and anyone who doesn't like them is just bad at them, although I don't think that's entirely true. I think most fans were tied to the boots on ground action, and the EXO Suits just didn't sit right. Whether you love them or hate them, it's definitely a divisive topic. Number 7. No Campaign, Black Ops 4. Personally, this one still angers me. One of the main things that gets me excited about Call of Duty is the campaign. It's like a tradition of mine to play the first 2 levels in the latest COD game before I even look at the multiplayer. So you can imagine my poor little heart crumbling to pieces when I found out the news that Black Ops 4 wasn't going to have a single player campaign. And even worse, the suspected reason was to apply the resources to a Battle Royale mode. Now Battle Royale isn't my favourite genre, which is funny because I do Warzone content, but I did play Blackout, and I hated every second of it. It has its fans, but for me it was easily in the top 3 worst Battle Royales. I think we really needed the campaign set after the last game, so we could explain whatever the bejesus was going on in Black Ops 3. We sadly never got it, and because of that, Black Ops 4 sits rock bottom of my ranking of COD games. Yes, even lower than Vanguard. Number 6. COD 4 Remastered. Everyone loves remasters, especially when it's a remaster of a game that made you fall in love with a series. I remember when COD 4 Remastered was announced. COD fans everywhere rejoiced, knowing that they could relive their childhood. The only catch was they had to buy a special edition of Infinite Warfare in order to do it. This obviously didn't go down too well, especially given the fact that Infinite Warfare was going full sci-fi and fans just weren't interested. I bought it anyway because I was willing to give Infinite Warfare a solid chance, and it was a severely underrated game. But I can't deny that it was a terrible idea to have the only way of getting COD 4 was by purchasing Infinite Warfare as well. Was it the case of Activision trying to boost sales for Infinite Warfare? More than likely, as it took them months before they fixed their mistake and made COD 4 a standalone game. The damage was done though, and I think that's one of the main reasons Infinite Warfare gets a bad rap. Now it just sits off to the side, unloved like a middle child. Number 5. Dead Children, Modern Warfare 2019. Death and children don't ever go together in any context, unless of course you're playing high on life. Modern Warfare 2019 went with the shock value approach and had dead kids appear in the level Homecoming. It certainly was a shock, and I don't think anyone really wanted to see it, but of course in the context of the story, it was probably necessary to show the ruthlessness of Barkov. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show gameplay of it on YouTube, or even if I'm allowed to talk about it, so just watch this video of Captain Price dancing for 10 seconds. Number 4. Nazis, World War II. This hasn't got the same undertones you might think it has. Normally you would say less Nazis is better, right? Well, yeah, for sure, in 99% of cases. The 1% is historical accuracy in media, whether that be books, movies or video games. This is what had some fans, but mainly critics, split in 2017. It was the first time since World at War that COD had gone fully back to World War II, and thankfully for us, it was very creatively named World War II to reflect that. What's crazy is that this game had two controversies for very different reasons. First up was the inclusion of Nazi atrocities such as concentration camps. I remember seeing articles left, right and centre about how this kind of stuff is problematic. I disagree. I think that if you're telling a story based heavily on history, then it needs to be historically accurate. In fact, games always paint Nazis in a bad light, rightfully so. So I don't get why people are mad at a game for making Nazis even more unpopular. On the other side, there were people complaining that there weren't enough Nazis. This came in the fact that they weren't present in the World War II multiplayer. Here, I don't think historical accuracy is a necessity. You're not telling the story through the multiplayer, and it's not based on genuine historical events, bar the fact that it's set in World War II. So not including them isn't the worst thing. Overall, I think people just need to sit down, shut up, and just enjoy the game. Number 3. A fake terrorist attack, Black Ops 3. I love when an advertising campaign goes wrong. I've been munching on popcorn the whole way through this Balenciaga debacle. The same was the case for the Black Ops 3 release. In order to promote the game, there was a fake alert Twitter account set up that would post events of the game before it releases. One of Black Ops 3's opening levels is set in Singapore, and the Twitter account proceeded to tweet about a breaking news story about unconfirmed explosions in Singapore. Obviously, those clued into the marketing campaign were excited, but anyone who didn't know was left confused and probably a little bit scared. It went down about as well as a playdate with Kevin Spacey, and the marketing team behind it was widely criticised on social media. I get what they were trying to do, but realistically the execution could have been so much better. Plus they probably shouldn't have used a real world country as the target. All in all, this was a massive blunder, but it's definitely not the worst in this list. Number 2. No Russian, Modern Warfare 2. To some, this may be the original controversy. It was so bad that you could genuinely skip a whole mission just to avoid it. Although probably best off because the mission itself wasn't great. Modern Warfare 2 is iconic for a multitude of reasons, and this is one of them. I'm sure everyone remembers hearing the iconic line, "Remember, no Russian," before being given a gun and the option to mow down an entire civilian airport with it. Killing civilians wasn't new to games. I mean, GTA had around 7 games out before Modern Warfare 2 was released. But something was different about this. Call of Duty is more of a serious storytelling game, so even the NPCs carry more weight than they would in other games. To be fair though, you could go through the entire level without killing a single civilian. But no gamer, when given a gun and a target, has ever refused to pull the trigger. Personally for me, I didn't care too much about the level. In fact, I think it enhanced the story by making Makarov out as the worst person since Amy Schumer, and when playing through the rest of the campaign, you just want to take him down for revenge. I see why there was controversy surrounding it, but I'm all for graphic content for story progression, because it fuels an already burning hatred even more. Number 1. The Davis Family Vacation, Modern Warfare 3. Back in 2011, Modern Warfare 3 decided to try outdo its predecessor and push the boundaries even further. In the mission Davis Family Vacation, we get to see footage of a lovely family holiday in London. That is, until a shady van pulls up and explodes, releasing a chemical agent into the area. Remember I was talking about Modern Warfare 2019 showing a dead kid? Well, Modern Warfare 3 just full on blew a child up. It got criticised for its similarities to the London bombings in 2005. It's also aged as well as a pint of milk, with the likes of the Manchester bombing occurring in 2017 and the Liverpool bombing in 2021. Just like No Russian, I'm an advocate for horrifying and graphic content like this in games, although I can see where the outrage comes from. With the similarities to real life attacks, it hit home harder than normal, but at the same time that close to reality feeling gave you a deeper understanding of what it'd be like to experience this. As an Irishman, it's probably not my place to comment on bombings in the UK, but those that happened in real life were tragic instances that any sane person would stop if they could go back in time. So that was the list. Did I miss out on any other controversial moments? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe and turn on those notifications and comment ding ding for a shout out on my next video. Anyway, I have been Lenny, and I'll see you next time.